I've been asked to do some slower videos so that people can see what goes on. So this is going to be in real time and it'll be over several videos. This first one is my sketch. It's for my new website and designs, which are based on fantasy. They will be great for children's rooms or adults' rooms who are still kids at heart. So first, this one is this particular shape because it'll be a banner. I'll probably still have to clip it, make it narrower, shorter. But first I start with the furthest layer. If you were doing this on a computer program, you would do it in layers. So you'd draw one total and then you'd put another one over the top. When we paint, we do the same thing, but we do it all at once. So the negative area in the background will be the sky coming down to the first range of trees. This is a forest scene. If it wasn't a forest scene, there might be mountains, but it's a forest with a paddock in front of it. So it is, those are trees in the background. As you come forward, your colours become more intense and you get more detail. The backgrounds are muted and there's not much detail. If you look in the distance, we get a lot of rows of trees covering hills here in Australia, and the last one next to the sky will be a dull greeny blue, depending on where you are and what the weather's doing. It's raining still. And then more intense, and the trees up close are the only ones that you'll see in detail. So I'm doing more detailed drawings for the ones that are closer to me. I don't expect that this will be exactly like the painting. There will be changes. There's been changes in my life too. Most you probably know I've developed a tremor. It's called an essential tremor, and I'm on CBD or medical cannabis drops, which helps a lot. But in this real time, you'll see that I still do tremble a little bit, but nothing I can't handle. It's most noticeable when my hand is off the paper, because once I have the pencil on the paper, I have something to lean on. And sometimes it leaves little wobbly lines, which really don't worry me. However, since that's happened, I've also started biting my nails, something I haven't done for many years. So that's uncomfortable. I don't know whether to even bother trying to break a habit again at the moment. I'm just sort of happy I can draw. So it's going to take a while for me to draw this. It actually doesn't take long. I think it's about 12-13 minutes, but it does seem a long time when you're watching it. Well, it does to me. I've already been through it once. So the trees that we're drawing now have more detail, and will have more detail in the painting, and will be a slightly darker colour and more greenish than the ones in the background. However, you won't see the colour in this because this one is just the drawing. The next one will be maybe just the background, and maybe I'll do a video for each one as they do get a bit long. The series I'm working on is about 2 unicorns. They will be drawn in the foreground. I'm not worried about drawing them over the top of trees. I haven't left room for them because I'm not quite sure, as I'm drawing this bit, where they're going to be. So I'm just drawing it and I'll work out where they're going to be. But this is their meeting. So we've got a mare and a stallion unicorn meeting up for the first time. Maybe they met on Tinder. I don't know. Do they have a Tinder for unicorns? But I need names. I don't have names for these two. And they're going to go off and have adventures after I finish this one. I'll be drawing their adventures. So I need a name. I'm also not sure what colour to make them. I think one will be white and one will be golden. Which should be white and which should be golden, I don't know yet. By golden, I probably mean Palomino. Let's see. Let's make the stallion white and the mare the golden Palomino. So, what's a good fantasy name for a white stallion and a golden mare? Just put it in the comments and I'll have a look, and hopefully together we can come up with something. And then if I use yours, you'll get to name a unicorn. So I finished the trees. I've drawn in some rough shapes of bushes. I'm sitting here shaking slightly, thinking, okay, what do I do next? Where am I going to put these unicorns? Let's put one here. I've been drawing horses since I was 4. I'm now 60. I don't really need references to draw horses, but they help. I'm not using one for this, and my thought is that her back is to us. Well, his back is to us, don't know which is which yet. And so I start drawing that way, and it just doesn't go right. There's the tail, there's the head and neck and mane, and of course if it's a unicorn, it needs a horn. And here's the front leg. Now, it wasn't going right and I couldn't tell why, but looking at it now I can tell exactly why it wasn't going right. That leg should definitely be more bent inwards rather than the outwards that I've got. That would have helped. But it doesn't matter in the end. And although I've decided, after discussion with my sister, that they probably should be based off Arabs, nevertheless, the stallion has a Roman nose, which curves outwards, because I like Roman noses, while the mare's face will have the typical dish of the Arab. But I also like Frisians, so I decided to give them feathers, which are the long hairs around their feet, because drawing feathers is so much more fun than drawing hooves. And they get to move, and I just like them. So they're a little bit of several different breeds, but nevertheless still a very horsey unicorn, not like they're first described in medieval literature as more of a goat creature. I like goats too, but horses win my heart every time. So, and this is where I'm deciding, this just is not working. Let's rub it out. And she can be, we'll pop her behind her instead of facing us. And immediately it starts to look right. So that leg that would have been her near foreleg, which is her left, now becomes her far or right foreleg. And suddenly it just started to work, and okay then, we'll do it this way. At this point I hadn't decided on the Frisian legs, so I was just sort of leaving them at points and going to put the details in when I painted it. But you can see they're quite small, so I think this is about the point where I decided they're going to have feathers. Yep, this is the point I decided. So you can see I flare them out at the bottom. Rough wiggle for a tail. Here's an eye, I think. No, first I'm going to dish her face, make her nose a little bit more nosy. There's a cheek, and there's the eye. And other than darkening it, that's about all I need for the drawing. She's very alert, and I like that. She looks good. So now we'll go over and draw what I started to think of as a male. I started a little low down on the page. I wanted him the same size as her. See me sort of saying, well, you know, if this is his feet, this will be his head. But I've put his feet. These are the main subjects. So we've had the far distance, which is the sky, and then far distance again of the trees, then the middle distance of the more descriptive trees, and now we've got the main subjects which are in front of those trees. But we're going to have just a suggestion of foreground in wispy little weeds and flowers coming out from the bottom of the page and covering this fella's leg, so we can't really see how tall he is. So he's looking at her, she's looking at him going, well, fancy meeting you. Or maybe, oh, you don't look like your Tinder picture at all. So part of the composition is the fact they're looking at each other draws your eyes between the two of them. So your eyes will go from one of them to the other and then back again. It keeps you in the picture. The weeds are all sweeping inwards, both on this side, and I'll put just a couple on the other side. And they will also sweep inwards. These things you've got to think about when you do composition until you reach the age of 60, in which case it more or less becomes just second nature. Until I actually started talking to you about it, I hadn't thought about it. But the very background sweeps from the top right down to lower left, just above midway, I think. I can't tell. And then, so that causes a nice dynamic line, whereas the edge of the paddock is just a little swerve, a little curved line that is much more gentle, not so dynamic. And then we've got the two animals looking at each other. And there's the weeds on that side. I've already done the weeds on the other side. You can see they're all curving inwards. So now the next thing on composition is the colour. And that will be the next video. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.